follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. The owner and the CEO of this great property, Derek Stevens, in studio in 30 minutes. Big announcement here on the network and at Circa in 15 minutes. And Pocket Plays will be a little bit earlier because of Derek coming in studio for a full half an hour today. Houston, Pauly, and college basketball. That's where we're going to start the hour with in tonight's schedule. Before we get there, nice win last night. I get it, Texas Tech. They were not at full strength. The number moved from like Houston 1 up to a 4.5-point favorite. And they took care of business last night, 69-61. Another impressive win for this team. They got revenge. They lost by a point in overtime to Texas Tech back on February 1st. And before that, their 3 other losses all came in November. This team is piping hot. So they close Cincinnati, Kansas at Baylor.
They're going to go 19-1.
Yeah, if they, I think they're going to.
Yeah.
So if they close 19-1 regular season Big 12 and then win the Big 12 tournament, how do you say no to them getting a 1 seed?
Yeah. That's what Jerry Palm said yesterday. That blew my mind. It's got to be a 1 seed. Because all these teams in the SEC play each other. So I know it didn't go well in the non-conference, but if that's what you do in Big 12 play and they're going to get 8 bids or maybe more, that's got to be a 1 seed. Because still you got what Alabama's got to face. Auburn we know is a 1. And maybe Duke suffers a loss. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a nice record. Good job against Illinois. The ACC is atrocious. And you played a good team in Clemson. You lost. So we'll see what happens with Duke. But I can't deny them a 1 seed if that's what they're able to do.
Yeah, so like how much credit will Alabama get if they have a handful of losses moving forward, right?
We're given way too much credit with Bubble and this about, well, good losses, though, great league. But, yeah, you got to win games, though. You can't just say, well, great loss, great. I mean, Oklahoma, 4-10 in league play. North Carolina, 1-10 against teams quad 1. I mean, come on.
So if Alabama, let's say they lose, Ken Palm has them losing 3 of their final 4 games. Not tonight. He has them winning by 9 against Mississippi State. But then he has them losing against Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn. So if they were to lose those 3 games, that means the team is going to close the regular season with 5 losses in their last 7 games. Mm-hmm. And then that's pending, obviously, the SEC tournament. And at that point, they would have 5 losses in conference play and 7 losses overall on the season. Actually, more than that, 6 in conference play and 8 overall in the regular season. And are we going to look at that and say, well, again, yeah, great loss here, great loss there. They have a bunch of them, so we can't dock them enough. They're going to have to be a 1 seed still overall. I don't know if the committee will do that.
Right. My same thing with Florida. How do they close? They have a great resume as well, 24-3. But starts tonight with Georgia, and then it continues with how they close the season and what happens in the SEC tournament. You know, the one thing is that the committee overreacts to what happens in these tournaments. This is why my love for the sport has gone down big time. We play grab ass for 3 months. You play 35 games for what? For seeding. It doesn't make any sense. It's like it all comes down to what you do in March anyways, and then you can have a lousy regular season and then get hot in your conference tournament. Well, we'll put you in. Or you can get the automatic bid as well, and then the little guy is completely shut out, and we play 30 games just to seed. Hey, I'm in the MAC. I went 17-1 in league play. Who cares? You got to win 3 games here on a neutral in March just for right. TV rev. It's stupid.
Well, I'll give you a couple of examples, right? Syracuse the 1 year.
Yeah.
They were a fringe tournament team. Not like they had to get a couple of wins in their tournament. They won the whole thing, and they gave them like a 4 or 5 seed. I think that was the year they lost to Vermont in the first round. And then one of the years at UConn, I think it was the Kemba year. That's the one they won 5 games. They were on the precipice of missing the tournament. They won the Big East. Great accomplishment. 5 games in 3 seed.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, folks?
Right. And again, no one is in control. No one runs college sports. You can do what you want. So these conferences can come out and say, we're not doing this. Whoever wins our regular season is our automatic bid.
Sure.
And you can put, if you win it by 4 games, if you go 18-0 in league, whatever. This is who we're going to represent our conference, which should how it be. That's how it should be, anyways, because you're not going to get an at-large with what they're doing.
Okay, so this is the team I talked about before the break. Maybe is Florida spot proof? They have 3 losses overall. One of those came on February 1st in Knoxville. They got blown out by Tennessee. That was a revenge spot for the Vols. So they were not spot-proof in that game. But since they have an 11-point win against Vandy, a 9-point... Again, how many teams in the country could do what they did in that game on the road against Auburn when they went there and controlled it the entire time?
And then the next game.
Yeah, they followed that up with a 13-point win at Mississippi State.
Yep. That's why some of this stuff doesn't make sense in the SEC. The look-ahead spots and the letdown spots haven't happened.
Right.
And they might have a bad first half, which has happened, but then they come out and they crush you in the second half.
Well, yeah.
How good they've been.
Yeah,
yep.
So since that Miss State win, they smashed South Carolina, destroyed Oklahoma, and then, they got down against LSU right away in that game, trailing at halftime, and then they blew the doors off them in the second half. Mm-hmm. Made the adjustments, came out and said, what's going on here? This is not going to continue for another 20 minutes, and we're going to put the pedal to the metal, and that's exactly what they did. So, I would like to take Georgia plus the points tonight because they're much better at home than they are on the road. I can't get there against this Florida team.
Yep. Next four out, Lenardi has Boise, Georgia, and George Mason. So Georgia needs this one and then some more wins as we approach March.
Right. You like a game tonight in the Mountain West Conference quite a bit.
I love San Diego State. And it goes back into history. Big game, how this program has performed time and time again. Mm-hmm. While I think New Mexico's a good team, I just, coming off the loss at Boise, we just had this scenario last week. San Diego State, who is last four byes, according to bracketology, they were same point spread against Boise, ran them out of the gym, embarrassed them. So now, $1.40 on the money line against New Mexico. Win this game, you lock up a spot in the tournament. Swept by Utah State, a game they have to have. I think they're going to win this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's by margin.
And they also lost, for what it's worth, they lost by 14 at New Mexico the first time they played.
That game was on CBS. The Lobos were great. So you have the revenge angle there. But I go back, this is a game this program always wins. Going back to when Steve Fisher took it over, did an incredible job. Because this program was awful. And what Fisher built it into, and then making the Final Four run and then keeping it going here. So I think they win tonight, and I'm going to do the exact same thing tomorrow with Boise State laying 3.5 at home to Utah State. Utah State, very good team. Swept the Aztecs, got swept by New Mexico. But this is where I think Boise, actually, if they win out, they could have a case with and maybe win a game or two out here in the Mountain West tournament. But I think Boise, after they just beat New Mexico, also was too short against Utah State tomorrow in a game they have to have.
Yeah, again, I talked about this earlier. This was going back to last Wednesday. Boise at home got up to tie both games in here, right? In the Mountain West Conference, Boise got up to a 5.5-point favorite in that game against against New Mexico. It did not close there. There was some buyback on New Mexico before the game started. I had some of the 5.5. Close game at halftime. New Mexico led in that first half. Did not matter in the second half. It was the first tick that I got was 22-6 second half in terms of Boise. So it's like, okay. To your point for tomorrow's game.
What do you do with Gonzaga? Weird spot. They're playing at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Oh.
Up to open 5.5, now 7 against Santa Clara. As Farnham said earlier, Santa Clara bombs away from 3. 162.5 the total. Santa Clara beat them in the first game, but now down to a 9 seed. Better be careful here. At least get one of them, because you go to San Francisco on Saturday, and then you start the West Coast tournament. So there is not much on the resume after the first couple games of the season when they got as high as number 3 in the polls.
Well, I will point this out. Yesterday when we had Nick Bogdanovich on the show, right? Longtime Las Vegas odds maker, sports gambling Hall of Famer, loves his college basketball. I think he said this off the air, that he was really hoping that Gonzaga would have won this past weekend against St. Mary's because he really wanted to play Santa Clara in this game tonight. But now, of course, because a little bit more desperate probably, a little bit bitter as well, you're not going to win the conference this year. You were swept by St. Mary's. You could get swept by Santa Clara tonight. I know a lot of people are making the case to bet Santa Clara in this game. I can't get there. Just can't do it. I think we're probably going to see Mark Few going to extract the absolute A game out of this team tonight.
Is it that good? Is it good enough?
Well, they did have. When they got to number 3 in the country earlier this year, they were playing good basketball at times. But that you could also come back and say, yeah, man, that's a long time ago now.
Yeah, it is.
We're just not used to seeing Gonzaga in this state, you know?
When's the last time they played a complete game? I'm not counting like the Pepperdines or something like that.
Okay, so go back
Probably, was it Washington State on the road? Yeah, they blew. No, well, they were up big at the half and then coasted.
Yeah, that was last week, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost to UCLA, lost to Connecticut, lost to Kentucky.
Blew a huge halftime lead, by the way, against Kentucky in that game.
Yep,
up by like 15.
Blew the game against West Virginia. Did beat the Aztecs and routed Baylor to start the season. Rough.
Yeah, there's
Don't
not
lose.
There's not a lot of meat on that bone.
Don't lose tonight. He's got you a 9 seed. Because then I know it's Gonzaga Central here as they take over Las Vegas in the Orleans Arena for the tournament. But do not mess around.
Here's what we can hope for, Pauly. Maybe Gonzaga plays good basketball down the stretch, including the West Coast Conference tournament. They look really, really good. They get like an 8 seed, and then they win that game, and then we get a really small number on a super solid 1 seed, like laying 4 points against them.
Yeah, that's possible.
Right?
Again, yeah, Torvik's got them ranked 14th, but that was the other angle. Win these games so you get off the 8-9 line. That's another thing that you have to do.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to see an Auburn or a Florida in the second round.
Well, think about that.
You got to get off this 8-9 line.
If Richie Bachelari, another odds maker here at Circa, told you and Mike Palm 2 weeks ago that he made he made Auburn 6 against St. Mary's, and then Gonzaga was just favored by 5.5 over the weekend against St. Mary's.
Yeah.
In an 8-1 game, the number's not going to be that big in theory. In pocket plays what we are betting tonight coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right, Kings took out the Knights in the third period. Outscored them 4-0. 5-2 final game goes over. That's a winner. Houston also a winner against Texas Tech. Eclectic mix here within pocket. All the new stuff. Boise State tomorrow, 3.5 against Utah State at home. Aztecs, $1.40 on the money line tonight at home against the Lobos. Edmonton, Tampa, first period over. Edmonton is on a 12-2 overrun in the first period. And since that, they've given up a ton of goals here in the first 2 games back from the break. Dallas, Columbus, goal in the first 10. Yes, minus 145. Dallas on a 14-2 run. Goal in the first 10. This is at Caesars. Warriors to win the Pacific. 5-1.
Wow.
Easy schedule the rest of the way. There's 6 back in the loss column. But remember, and I like this Laker team. They got a lot of games, close to each because they've got to make up for the cancellations and what happened with the fires. Plus, they have a tough schedule in March. The Warriors have an easy schedule the rest of the way. And they're, reinvigorated and juiced up now with Butler coming to town. I think 5-1's worth a shot. Good luck, everyone.
Okay. Had a winner last night, Houston money line, laid minus 132. That was when we were on the air. That shot up to, I think, minus 235 after it was announced that Texas Tech would be without some of their key dudes. Good to be back on the winning side of things here, by the way, because it was a bad stretch when you were gone. Real bad. Tonight, 3-player props. And I had, like some others on the network here have admitted, they have a blind spot for unders when it comes to player props. As a lifelong fantasy player, I do as well. I look for positive matchups, so that's what we're going to war with tonight. In the Spurs-Pelicans game, I'm going Keldon Johnson over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I laid minus 121 with that. All these picks up on the picks page at VSiN.com when I made them. Since Wemby went down, right, somebody's going to have to step up, play more minutes, get more usage. Johnson's numbers, 26 minutes per game, 20.3 points, 3.3 rebounds, 3.3 assists. That comes up to 27 per game. That's all on 10.3 shots per game. Same game tonight. Not going to do a parlay. I'm betting these 2 straight. Derek White's been awesome to his numbers this year. Over 36 in 18. When the number is 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists, which it is tonight. He's had 2 clunkers against Toronto. My big concern here. Great recent form, though. 35, 35, and 28 PRA in his last 3 games. We're going to do it tonight again, which should be a high-scoring affair. And in that same game, R.J. Barrett has been awesome. Only 4 games in February, missed some time. But in those 4 games, he's averaging 25 points, 5.5 assists, and 4.5 rebounds. Actually, I'll round up to 5 rebounds. Barrett had 22, 10, and 8 against the Celtics on January 15th and 25, 15, and 10. That game went to overtime, but that flew over the number. That was back on November 16th. I played over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 112.
Go get him. Let's see. Never slows down. NBA, NHL playoffs, the madness, championship week, NFL draft, free agency. All coming up. Don't place your bets unprepared. For as little as $9.99, you get that email every morning with every play, every host, every guest, expert analysis, the insights. You're right about you get lost up on the website. There's so much up there. Nigel with the soccer, Makinen with his trends, Cohen and Burke, MLB previews, college basketball picks as well, the NBA prop analyzer. Wes Reynolds has all his golf picks up there right now. $9.99. Join the team. VSiN.com/subscribe. I cannot believe the 76ers. I can't. Down 50 at home to the Bulls last night. Oh, I couldn't believe it. And that's a hostile environment.
Well,
now it might be working against them now to be at home. They're on an 0-9 ATS run. They're on a 1-11 run, or 1-12 run as a home favorite, and now they've lost 8 in a row. And now they're 2.5 games back of the Bulls. To think title hopes, we got our big 3. Max for Paul George, gave all that money to Embiid with the extension, 20 and 37. Oh,
well,
God.
I mean, so I kind of can believe it. And
down 50?
It's the NBA. I mean, at some point,
the Bulls stink, though.
Look what happened. What's more unlikely, that to happen or OKC to blow a 25-point late second half lead last night? More unlikely is that.
Yeah.
I mean, the 76ers are waving the white flag here. Now I hate myself for coming back with a hedge on them to make the playoffs.
Well, but if you bet them, they went from 2.5 to 6.
Well, sure.
Vucevic went out.
Okay, so do you not have to? How do you not just draw? We talked about this yesterday on the show. I want nothing to do with that team. How do you not draw a line through them? Mm-hmm. Like they can't even be a consideration moving forward. They can't. How are they going to take money? They might, because pro bettors are going to do. Hey, my numbers say this, but at some point you just have to say, man, they are a dumpster fire right now, going in the exact opposite direction. The players don't want to be there. Embiid probably won't come back and play this year. Paul George is having a terrible season.
Yep.
So it's like, what do they have to play for? Did they have a conversation of like, this is it, guys. We're not going to win any more games because we got to keep that top 6 pick that's protected? There's another. How about this? Longtime friend of the show, Ian McDonald. He sent me a great breakdown on why he thinks the Charlotte Hornets to get the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, they did it again last night.
Plus 550, not awful. And if you're a little bit, if you want to put the tinfoil hat on, maybe there's something here. Like, can you name a more irrelevant major franchise across North America than the Charlotte Hornets?
Good discussion.
I think they're for like not just this year. I'm talking about.
And Michael Jordan as their owner still stunk.
Sure,
couldn't get anyone.
Like nobody cares about them.
Yeah,
I know fans of the Wizards. I know fans of the A's. Yeah, Tim Murray here on the network. Stanford Steve. That's 2 right there.
Wizards had Beal and Wall and made a couple playoffs.
Sure, yeah,
Charlotte. I think it's Charlotte. Yeah,
but I'm talking hockey, baseball, NFL, it doesn't matter.
That's a good one.
I think this is the team at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And now they have Cooper Flagg playing, 10 minutes from Charlotte or whatever it is. And so,
we've seen shenanigans, lottery night.
Sure we have. And like what better way to potentially put some juice into this organization for the first time ever than, hey, Cooper Flagg can drum up some excitement.
And maybe they're going for it, getting beat by 50 and 40.
Well, that ties into it as well. Hey, guys, we don't want to win anymore. And how the Lakers lose to them. What the hell was that?
Luka didn't play well, and Reeves got kicked out of the game when they were up double digits. I don't know. Weird stuff happens sometimes in the association.
So what's more improbable then? This team losing back-to-back games by like 50 points, the Sixers being down 50 as a 6-point favorite, or OKC blowing that game last night? You know that money line was off the board, and
Sure.
I expected that.
Yeah.
And then when they reposted, when the Wolves started to make a run, it got like 20-1, I think.
Gosh.
Luke just sent us somebody's out there. Julian Edlow tweeted this, actually.
Somebody's out there.
There's a receipt. Somebody
Yep.
put $400 on Thunder minus 1,000 to win the game live.
Yeah, I would have won a cup of coffee.
Sure.
I can't believe the implosion. To be up 15 with 3:45 and not score the rest of the game is nuts.
And then the Wolves pulled their starters?
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying that like question mark. That's what I was told. That's what I heard anyway, because I gave up on the game.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up on it at the end of the third quarter. Like, well, this one's
Nuts. All-timer. I know.
Yeah,
Never happened before. To be down that much against a team that's elite, that's never happened before in NBA history.
So like 20 minutes later, I go to my one app,
Yep.
and I see it's tied at like 121 to go to overtime, and they outscored them 41-19 in the fourth quarter. I'm like, that can't be right. My app's got to have it. It's glitching right now on me. I went to another app. Sure as you know what, in overtime, 121 apiece. I'm like, what on earth just happened?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to go. I read the box score after the game was over with. I was laughing out loud.
I thought it was a mistake in the fourth quarter as well. Did Dennis Bernstein say the Capitals were fugazi when you talked to him? Did you go down that road, or was it all USA Canada when you talked to him?
I think it was. We never brought up the Capitals.
He says Washington's fugazi. I'm buying.
Ooh.
Between Thompson and Net and what they're doing offensively.
Text Jeff Davis.
Oh yeah,
I think he might.
$1.80 tonight against Calgary. That's it. And I wouldn't want to play him.
Would you lay $1.70 right now that Ovechkin's going to break the record this year?
The way he's running, yeah.
Nah, they're getting him. They're specifically going out there and saying, if you can get 15 shots on goal, go ahead and take them.
But I think, but that's going to be fun with the playoffs. I know we were talking during the break. Could we get I wouldn't mind Toronto, Edmonton, Winnipeg in a Final Four. To see if Canada can end the drought, and that could happen. But that's, are you sick and tired of Dallas? Is it, be nice to get some different teams in there? God forbid Toronto does something and wins a game. Edmonton was this close. Winnipeg's won 10 in a row. Mm-hmm. They made the conference finals one year and Vegas upset them. But
you can bet that here again on multiple books.
Yeah.
Who's going to win it this year, USA or Canada?
It's a great prop.
Owner, CEO of Circa, Derek Stevens, up next. And he is coming fully loaded. A big announcement that we're super excited about here on the network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We are loaded here. A lot to get into with our next guest making his weekly appearance. We love having him in studio. He is the owner and the CEO of Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas. It's Derek Stevens. Good to see you today. How are you?
Good to see you guys. All good. Weather's great. Spring has sprung here in Las Vegas. I was just up at Stadium Swim today. We were supposed to go to the spring hours until next week. Well, it's been so beautiful. Yesterday it was so full we had to open up the whole thing.
Did you really?
We're rolling.
So I was walking down Fremont Street before the show started yesterday, 11:30-ish. I could not believe how many people were downtown in shorts, drinking beer, and they were going up to Stadium Swim at that time. I'm like, oh, clearly the best day of the year weather-wise. And I looked earlier during the show. We touched 80 today downtown.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's unbelievable. I was up there earlier today just to kind of check things out at Stadium Swim. We're going to these weekday hours, so the whole lower section's open. Yeah, there's not a seat available. It's awesome. It's Tuesday.
Can we say who was there yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. I wasn't here yesterday. I didn't know about it either until it happened. But yeah, the word's out on the street. He was having a party.
Go ahead.
What, the Bruno Mars was here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
That was pretty cool. Yeah, he just kind of snuck in, hung out with a bunch of his friends.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. I got the text. I got the text yesterday. Hey, just so you know, Bruno Mars was here. I'm like, okay, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Heads up, sure.
Yeah.
So
but I did not realize he is very good personal friends with a couple of people that work at Stadium Swim.
Oh.
And first time down, he enjoyed it. He said he was going to come back, had a great time. And then he did something at Pinky Ring, a little private deal at Pinky Ring over at Bellagio later that evening.
All right.
Excellent.
There's a special elevator for somebody like him?
Yeah, but I think he just rolled in with his crew.
And he walked right through the casino?
I think he just walked right in.
He had security, they said, but that's...
He had his own security, of course. But
Yeah.
no, I think he just... people forget. I mean, everybody's still a regular person. Want to chill out with your buddies? That's all that.
Well, he's a pretty big deal, man.
That's a big deal, yeah.
He's awesome.
Do you know Randy Couture? You know
Yeah, I
him,
know-
right?
yeah.
I interviewed him one time, and it was like a Thursday morning. This is when like the Expendables is coming out too. Not
Okay.
to mention the UFC, but he's a movie star.
Yeah.
He just rolls up in a motorcycle, comes in to do the interview. I go, "What is this? Is it? Oh no! Why would I have an entourage?" He was like pissed off,
All by himself.
I was stunned. He just rolled up in a motorcycle. Okay, let's talk. Let's promote stuff.
And then
Yeah, Randy's like that.
Yeah, cool guy.
But, I mean, Randy also, though. I mean, he didn't really need it. He doesn't really need protection.
That's true. Good point.
But he's a very, very down to earth guy.
Yeah,
Good guy.
he put me in a rear naked choke. You know, how long do you think it took me to tap out?
Oh God, I've been in a rear naked choke a couple times at the bar on purpose. We did it for video, but I was like, "What is going on here?" Yeah.
oh, they work.
Yeah.
Oh man,
100% they work.
I was terrified.
If applied correctly, you can knock
Yeah.
somebody out in like 2 seconds. That's absolute truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I never got to that point. I was doing it for media and pictures and
Right,
stuff
sure,
like that.
sure.
But, yeah.
my buddy, who was a really good high school wrestler, used to do that at like parties.
Oh.
And so,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice. Yeah.
well, yeah. So, but people would volunteer. Do me next. He'd come up right behind him.
Put him out. Totally put
2
him out
seconds
though.
later,
Oh God.
done. Yes.
Oh man.
True story. So, we'll tie in Bruno Mars's appearance yesterday to a big announcement that you have here at Circa and here at VSiN.
Yes, after quite a bit of work put in by the VSiN team and the Circuit team, we are going to announce something very, very special. I'm very excited about it. This is a package that you will be able to buy, and it's called Beyond the Booth. And what it is, it's an opportunity to get into a package where you can hang out with your favorite Las Vegas people, Mitch and Paul. Right here, right next to me, right here. This is the deal where you can get a Stadium Swim cabana, and you can hang out with Mitch and Pauly. You've heard them talk about our cabanas at Stadium Swim. You're going to be able to go to the VSiN website and go to Beyond the Booth. And what'll come up will be a form. It'll take you to a Circa site. Fill out your name, email, phone number, and your preferred dates. You guys were so generous to put out a handful of dates, all orientated around some very great sporting events here. So I think Sunday of March Madness. I think all 4 days of Sweet 16 weekend. Then we're getting into April. We got Masters involved here, and then we're going to get NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. And it's a package where you're going to be able to hang out with both of you guys as long as you've got availability. If only one of you does, it's with one of you. But all the information is going to be put together, and our team's going to reach out with you. And you get to go beyond the booth. You get to hang out with your heroes here, Mitch and Paul, talk about gambling, hang out with your buddies. This is like, Stadium Swim, show and tell, best thing you could ever dream of, and hanging out with you guys. And you guys get to meet a lot of new friends. Listeners, fans.
And by the way, you're talking about open dates. We're pretty much here, right, for the whole calendar year, whenever.
Yep.
For big events, we're going to be around. So.
Yep. I can't thank you enough for this. And also, I reached out to your guy, David Rossborough, and I said, let's get Sydney in here and with some of the gals to show off as well with the great gals who work here at the best pool in the world. But it means the world to us all. Remember, we go back to the early days, 6-7 years ago, when you guys would drive all the way down to the South Point at 4 a.m. just to say hello and meet us. So you're the reason the show's so successful and been around. And to think you can do this and hang with us. Sean does it all the time. Nish, Schwartzy, Tammy, Evan. So it's right up there. It's professionally done. It's A+ by this whole crew and this resort. So we'd love to hang out at the best pool in the world. And Sunday, March 23rd, Thursday, March 27th, the first dates that are available. Go up there now, and they tweeted it out on X, but circalasvegas.com. Thank you, Mr. Stevens.
Yeah, awesome job. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. I'll tell you what, on the days, you just mentioned a lot of your friends that you had days with up at Stadium Swim. And, I've got a text from you guys, and I popped up to meet. I've got to meet a lot of these guys, and I love it. So, now we're kind of formalizing this. I think a lot of people probably never knew that somehow, is there a way to get a hold of you? Is there a way to do something like this? Now there is. So I think everybody's going to be pretty excited to have a good day of sports, hanging out with you guys, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
I will say that the new hours contribute to us having more opportunities now. Because before, when we were on from 4 until 7 in the morning out here local time, look, I would love to go out there and hang until 9 o'clock at night watching NBA playoff games. A little bit difficult to do when you have a show coming up a few hours after that. So now it's anything goes pretty much the entire time, the entire year.
Yeah, terrific.
And like you said, the weather already out here is incredible. By the way, the drawings here that we're looking at and what they tweeted out,
they did a good job
pretty
with
solid
this.
Here.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Look at that. They even got the sides of my hair completely gray. That's absolutely fact. True. They gave us too many muscles, though, I think. We look
I got to get back in the gym.
More buff here than what we actually are at this point.
I know. It's a good job, though. VSiN.com/BeyondTheBooth. Circa Las Vegas, if you want to come out and hang out, book a room, get that discount, too, for 15% off VSiN 15. VSiN.com/BeyondTheBooth. How awesome was USA Canada, and what did it do for business?
Oh, man, volume was terrific. It was terrific. Book sold out. The crowd was it was amazing. It was amazing how the NHL did such an incredible job during this time period. At the same point in time, the NBA, it kind of flopped the way that thing played out.
Absolutely, it did. Fell on its face again.
But the energy of what transpired, obviously, we're in a political time period that added to it. Keith Tkachuk and his two boys are all-American heroes. Those guys had a lot to do with this thing. Having Brady and Matthew Tkachuk doing what they did, pretty amazing. It was terrific for the book. It was great volume, great handle. It was exciting. It was good.
How random is this? The very first NHL jersey I ever purchased, I want to say it was in the mid to late 90s, an old Phoenix Coyotes Keith Tkachuk jersey, the one that had 17 different colors to it. It was all over the map. I loved it when I was younger. I still have it somewhere tucked away. I don't know where it's at. I wanted to wear it on the show on Friday. After that game, I couldn't find it, but that's an oldie but a goodie, I would say.
That was an oldie, but that was after he had the great career with St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say it was like when he was the timeline there. I don't remember exactly. It probably was. It had to be right because when did Phoenix become a franchise?
Yeah. I remember when Keith Tkachuk. I grew up as a Red Wings fan. And, Keith Tkachuk was a tough guy when he was playing on the Blues. He was a tough guy to beat.
Sure. Bar Canada was awesome that night.
Okay,
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, bet that was some atmosphere.
The Saturday game, though, before that, though, from what everybody was saying, was like all-time good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll continue with Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of Circa Resort and Casino, coming up next. What is his advice for pressing after hitting a $20,000 jackpot? We'll ask him coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Okay, so Derek Stevens with us here, owner, CEO of this great property. What do you think of the idea? We were just kicking around the idea of us, you can get a cabana with us, big sporting events. How about the week before Championship Sunday, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Championship week, all those games starting, early on in the day? What if we were to do shows out at Stadium Swim?
Yeah, let's do a show. You ought to do a show. We've done clips out there. It looked great over over Super Bowl when we had Grace up there, we had Joe up there, roving reporters. We've done it in years past with Amal up there, the Super Bowl, and Mike Palm. Yeah, why don't you do a whole show? We do a lot of shows up there.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that week.
You want all
good.
3 days?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Primetime might want in on this as well.
Sure, wall-to-wall action. It's the best.
Whoa.
I think those are the 2 best betting days of the college basketball season.
Love it.
Well, we can do it. Let's figure it out.
If it's
I love it.
possible, yeah, let's throw that out there.
All right, we'll get a hold of Wilbo. We'll figure out the spot. Get a hold of Bill 80. We'll make something happen.
Yeah.
All right. You
Now
know,
we're
Great
cooking.
idea.
All right.
Love it.
What is your advice for me? On Friday after the show, I hit a $20,000 Royal here at Circa upstairs. Do I press? I've hit a Royal before in my life. I've never hit anything. The biggest jackpot I had ever hit was $4,800 in my life, Derek, playing video poker. $4,800. And I've been playing for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
I've played 2 days since. I hit 2 other jackpots in a combined 11 minutes of playing. So do I keep this going for a little while until I lose a little bit and then stop? What do I do?
Yeah, you know, when you hit a home run, you got to make sure you go to bat. You don't sit on your laurels. You could be walking around hot here. You know,
Damn
it might be
right.
the whole month.
Yes.
What if it's the whole month?
Well said.
And you're walking around lucky. You don't even know. You got to keep playing. Absolutely. You got to keep riding it. You know, until you figure, okay, I've had enough. Things have cooled down. But if you had 3 jackpots after something like this, you got to keep going. You know, you don't let up. This is amazing. This was at the Overhang Bar. Is that correct? Or where were you? Were we in high limit here?
So, no, I wasn't high limit. The first one that I hit was upstairs in the high limit area, but not in high limit.
Okay.
I don't want to exactly say where it's at. And then I hit another one before the show started yesterday. I was playing for 3 minutes in front of your gift shop here. Now, that was a smaller jackpot. They're not all $20,000, obviously, but a jackpot nonetheless. Derek, I have played in those 3 combined days where I hit those jackpots. I'm not joking. I played for less than 25 minutes and hit those jackpots.
That's the crazy part.
That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, everything in Vegas goes in streaks, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very unique how Vegas is so streaky. No, I'd recommend you keep playing. I mean, when you have something like this happening, maybe there's a higher being out there that's kind of watching out for you right now.
Well said.
You know,
How about tie it into the dice table, though? If you're on a hot streak at the dice table, which you've been on, when do you know when to get out?
it is amazing to me how sometimes people show up on a Thursday night for weekend, and you know, they get hot Thursday night on a certain dice table, then they lose on a different one. They go back to that dice table the next day, win. I mean, it's very, very streaky. You can have a dice table you never lose on all weekend long. Every shift you play, you're going to win. It's just the way it is. Vegas is funny that way. Probability is funny that way.
No kidding.
Well said. I'm also finally going to make this happen because Private Plane Wayne is coming to town in a couple weeks. Mitch has never heard the story. I don't know if it's ever been told on the air, but he told it to me. Where you were playing at Caesars. You were on such a heater, they ran out of chips. They're keeping track about what they owe you on napkins. And you're just like, keep the cards coming. Let's go. So Wayne's going to come in and finally tell that story. But when did you know to say, okay, that's enough? There was this other guy comes in, what the hell he was getting into. He sits down, they throw him a chip, say, get the hell out of here. But how about the fact that when you said,
that
okay,
was
this is, I took them for everything they got. They ran out of chips. How do you know when you're just saying, all right, now it's time to walk away. I've done enough damage.
But after you took every chip and they started rigging it up on pieces of paper, like, okay, let's go.
Yes.
That's when we decided to hit the gas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, Wayne just confirmed. He will be, he's available on that Thursday. He's flying in Friday night of March Madness. So, you
Great.
can book him on now the Thursday of March Madness.
Okay.
Yes.
Now it sounds like, well, that show will be in here. That's right. All right.
By the way, this is Larry on X. He said, great video poker story. I remember I was in Lake Tahoe. I was down 5,000. I went to 25 bucks.
This is good.
On the machine. Dealt 4 to a royal. Needed the queen of clubs. Said to the machine one time. Hit the button. Hit the royal for 100,000. I said the same thing. What do I do now? Still playing 15 years later. It's never enough.
Right. Like, how do you top that?
Yeah.
Right? And they still, okay. The action is the juice. Absolutely. Are you into White Lotus?
Yes, I've enjoyed White Lotus. It's a 4 seasons. It's a 4-season show. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable what they've done in the 2-4 seasons, and now this new one. It came out just a couple days ago, right?
2 episodes
there's
in
2
season
episodes.
3. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't.
Good start.
Nicole and I were gonna jump into it last night, but 2 episodes. I don't know. I need like 4 to digest it. I'm ready to get into it hard. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for another couple episodes to come out. But I like it.
Well, you were sold early on The Penguin, too, and they started off with a strong start.
Yeah.
What's good right now? What were you watching TV shows?
Just finished The Recruit. Thought that was pretty good. And 0 Day just came out. Very interesting. De Niro's the president. It's on Netflix. It's got me hooked. I'm watching it tonight for sure.
Really?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
I think there's 8. They launched it with 8 episodes.
Is that what it is?
I think
All
there's
right.
I think there's 6 or 8. Yeah.
Who was your favorite SNL character over the years? Cast member. Do it that way.
I mean, look at my size. I'm biased. Of course, it's Chris Farley. Yeah, I like the physical comedy.
Uh-huh.
I thought Chris Farley was unbelievable. I just thought he could make anything funny.
I agree. Well said. No matter what he did. Even the Paul McCartney sketch,
He made
right?
everything
or even
funny.
Nat Foley or whatever,
Yeah.
he always delivered. The Bears, whatever it was,
Yeah.
right?
Belushi was a little before my time, but watching him in retrospect, I thought that was terrific.
How about Chippendales?
That's another one, right?
Swayze.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, the body shaming. And
How many people would be willing to do that?
I know, right?
Yeah.
His moves are just so good. I can't compete. I can't compete with that.
It's an all-time sketch.
I forgot about that one. That was
Were
good.
you a Dexter fan or no on Showtime?
Not really.
Okay, because the new one, like the one now with the younger version of him called Original Sin, they absolutely crushed it.
Really?
Phenomenal. Maybe the best casting that a show's ever done to like get the people before who they actually were. Outstanding job. So, and the whole setup was really, really good. Have you guys had any talks internally about NFL contests for this upcoming year?
Yeah.
You're gonna leave it at that?
Okay.
We're talking about it. We're talking about it. It's probably, to be fair, we're probably spending a little bit more time figuring out how we think the schedule is going to play out. The Millions is pretty straightforward. I think Millions is going to continue, its slow growth, but I'm hoping we get over that 6 million that we need this year. Survivor, that's a wild card though, because there's a handful of proxies that have reached out with some ideas that they have that could really potentially grow Survivor
Really?
substantially. So we're pretty excited about how that's going to play out. So for us, really kind of comes down to: are we going to do a guarantee? If we are, what are we going to do it at? How is it going to play out? I'm actually very hopeful that now that VSiN's back on Sirius XM, that provides a little boost. So I think that's a very strong positive.
Yeah.
I'm so happy VSiN's on Sirius XM now at this point. So yeah, we're kind of talking our way through it, and we're excited about the 2025 season.
All right, more details to come in the upcoming weeks, no doubt, as we get closer to the schedule release and everything in that sport. Quickly, any team that you have your eye on with a win total this year in baseball?
Yes, actually. I just think that the Padres may struggle a little bit this year.
Ooh.
I'm a little
Moving Cease? Going to trade Cease?
I don't know if they've lost a lot here.
Yeah.
They've lost a lot here, and okay, you take a guy that was on your team a couple years ago, Snell. Oh yeah, now he's on the Dodgers. And then look what the Diamondbacks have done.
Great moves.
It's a brutal division.
Yeah.
It's such a brutal division that anti-Rockies, just because of the division. I think the Padres may have a little bit of a struggle. I think that the White Sox I'm not impressed with, although the total has moved up because the number opened at like 50.5. Now we're at like 53. I still don't know how are they going to get to 53 wins with that roster.
Yep.
That's a tough one. And if I had to take one that I like, I kind of like all these young kids coming up with the Oakland A's. Or the Sacramento A's.
Yeah.
Sacramento A's, that's right. CircaLasVegas.com, code VSiN15. Get 15% off your stay any of the 3 properties: Circa, the D, Golden Gate, Masters Viewing Party, Championship Week, the Madness. Get your cabana, book your room, and again, VSiN.com/beyond the booth. If you want to get the cabana and hang out with us Sunday, March 23rd or March 27th. First come, first serve. CircaLasVegas.com, a lot there, but thanks, Derek.
Thanks a lot, guys.